Hey, hi Alejandra. It's good to have you back here. We had two conversations, one in Spanish and one in English before your fight.
Yeah.
And well, a lot has happened since then. But we'll get to that in a moment. How are you feeling? How are you today?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling a bit hot because it's like 100 degrees here in Tijuana, but other than that, just very happy.
Yeah, I was just saying to you before we started recording, it's so strange because it feels like it's just normal being back in front of the camera, that nothing has happened, but like you have you have died and come back to life almost. At least on social media you really have. And you look absolutely fantastic. It's just impressive. I can't believe it.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I do feel different in a good way, but generally just the same. It was a little bit difficult when I got better initially, just remembering everything, but now like the doctor said, no, you know what? Go home, because that's when people get better a lot quicker, when they're home and when they're people that they know, the situations that they know everything. And yeah, I get it because I'm here and now I'm like, oh wait, I remember everything about boxing now. So
I can still hear you, but all of a sudden it just sounded like it got really distant. So just check.
okay,
Now it's normal again.
yeah,
Just to be sure.
yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean, like for those that don't know, obviously Alejandra went to Scotland for a world title fight, with all of the aspirations to come out with her hand raised. Gave a good fight to Hannah Rankin, and for some questions that I think even you're still not sure what happened. Um, in the final round, Alejandra was a bit hurt. They stopped the fight and went into a coma for 10 days, I think it was.
uh-huh.
And yeah, like, I mean, I was in conversation, texting your mother, um, and then like when we'll come back to that in a minute, but like to see the difference between, like, your mother said to me, oh, she knows who I am. She's saying all she's saying is no, and she seems a bit angry. And then a few days later she said she recognizes her dad. um and now they're going to try and take out her tube and see if she'll eat, and this was like, the baby steps at that stage. And what are we, maybe 2 months later, and you just look like you did before you ever went and did this fight. So it's just, it still for me is like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's almost going to be actually 3 months, so I feel it's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible just how, because now that you say it, it's true. And I was I that part I don't remember initially when I was first when I first came back. uh you know I don't remember like the first 5 days, but my parents and my and the people that were helping me out, my doctors, my nurses, everybody, they were saying I was being real tough. I wanted to take everything off. I wanted to walk. I obviously couldn't walk. I would get mad. I would tell them, leave. You're not paying attention to me, things like that. I don't know. So I feel sorry for everybody
No,
that, that was there. I didn't know what was going on.
no, I think you're probably like one of their biggest achievements in that hospital. Like, you're like the prize on the wall right now, like of what surgery can achieve. Like, but yeah, amazing. So just, I'm going to rewind a quick bit, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about all of this, because you've given like lots of interviews I've seen already, a lot in Spanish, some in English. And I want to more focus on you now and where you're going. But just really quickly, if we can rewind to before the fight, like how did the fight with Hannah Rankin come about?
I actually messaged her coach, or not the coach, the person who he was contracted with in Glasgow. And I mean, I've been doing it. I already knew that this was my last year fighting. I was looking at 2 to 3 fights this year, and that's it. So obviously I've also been doing things for other fighters. I've been looking for fights for other fighters. I've been working with other uh, businesses worldwide. So I know how to do that. I know how to look for fights. I know how to do everything. And I decided, you know what? This is my last year, and I definitely, since the beginning, wanted to do a world title. So I messaged him. I talked to him. I said, look, this is everything that I got, and I know it's going to be a great fight for Rankin, for me. It's going to be a great opportunity. You're going to get a lot of money, so let's do it. And the thing is that he's great. He was great. The people who were recording the fight, everybody was great. They did great business. They gave me time. They gave me 3 months for the fight to be, good to go, which was great as well, because I had not fought basically the whole time that was weird all over the world. I had many fights that were not available. So I had to come back, and in September, I had fought for the first time after like a year and a half. And I was just getting back into business. And when they said, in 3 months, I was like, perfect, because I'm just getting back. I have my time. I've done everything well. And yeah, I was doing great. I got there. Basically, I was already at my weight, and I just finished it off there. They let me train at their gym. I was able to run and do exercises at the hotel, so everything was great.
Yeah, like I've been in touch with you the whole time, from before it was officially announced, and you were completely pumped for this fight. So like, just breaking some of the myths that obviously after you got hurt, it was like, oh, this is what happens when they get people on short notice, and this is what happens when a fighter is not prepared and it's not her weight division, and they just paid her, and they just took the fight for money, and all of the typical, people just invented they just came up with their own reason why, because I suppose it's human nature that you want to know why something happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they always want to blame somebody. But like, yeah, in this case, it wasn't the case. You got a 3-month preparation for the fight. You were happy for the fight. You wanted the fight. You sought the fight. So it's boxing, isn't it? Like, it involves punches, and things just go wrong sometimes.
Yeah, I know you were fighting with a lot of people worldwide, so I appreciate that.
I deleted Facebook for a week, then I'll get to that in a minute, but I was just like, because I was like, if something did happen, I know that you would have wanted the truth out there. I know that you are very happy with the promoter in Glasgow, with Hannah Rankin's team. So everyone just, that's the problem with social media, and we'll get to that, because really I'm after learning to what extent social media can exaggerate just to get some likes. Unfortunately, it's a little bit horrifying in this era that we're living in. So I'm just trying to stay on point, because every time we talk for about 2 hours. So the fight then was May 13th in Glasgow. I was in a rush in traffic on Friday trying to get back to see your fight, because in Mexico City it was 4 p.m. the fight was at, because of the time difference. Friday traffic here. I actually was in traffic watching your walkout on the Fight Zone application, but I got back just in time for the first round. You walked out, you had the big Mexican poncho, you looked happy, you looked ready, you looked relaxed walking out. Can you remember like how much of the experience do you remember before the fight or the first few rounds of the fight?
I do remember that, and I remember how happy I was. And that's why I think I woke up so happy, because that moment was incredible. I was so happy that even though I was in Glasgow and they were amazing, sometimes you're like, oh, you're gonna come out and they're gonna be like, boo, you're from Mexico. But no, they were so amazing. They were so kind and everything. And then, as you say, I was able to put on my big old poncho that my mom brought me from Mexico, because my mom and my dad were there. My brother was there. He was in the corner with me. He was carrying the Mexican flag. And they put on one of my favorite songs that says, well, translating to English, it basically says, I'm so happy, and I know things are getting better as we speak. And my boyfriend's there. One of my favorite cornermans is there, whom I practice with. Literally my entire my entire boxing career. And that was really sweet too, because Estrada, I've known him and he's worked with me and with people that we've taken to other places. And I would always say, when I become a world champion, you're going to be in the corner with me. So it was awesome that he was there with me, and I was just so happy. I remember feeling so happy, coming out, feeling happy. I do remember like the first 4 rounds, but initially the first round, I remember for a fact that I came back and I said, Rankin doesn't hit hard. This because I think the adrenaline, 1, and 2, my experience, the people who I boxed with were professional men. And obviously they weren't hitting me with everything, but they hit hard.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started feeling her hits, I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be easy. I felt so good. And then recently I've seen some pictures and I'm like, oh, I was doing exactly what we practiced, exactly what we said. So I'm not sure what happened after. I'm not sure why this happened. I've been to many doctors. We've done many things to see what's going on in the head. Apparently the biggest one is right here. So I don't know if it was a hit, if it was a kick, if I accidentally did something, if she accidentally did something, or whatever. I'm not really sure. But I do remember that everything was perfect up until, like the 4th round is where I don't remember anything. I don't remember going to the hospital, even though I was still talking. Apparently, I was still talking to the doctors, but the doctor said, well, just in case, we're going to take you to the hospital. So I'm very happy for them. Thank you very much, because you saved my life. And once I got there, I don't remember, but I was still talking until I guess there was this moment where I just started saying weird things and concerning everybody. So then that's when they operated me. And then because it was inflamed, they put me in a coma. And then 10 days later, they undid it, not because I was doing better, but because the doctor said that I shouldn't be in a coma for too long, because then if everything does go well and I do survive and I go forward, I'm going to forget a lot of things and I'm not going to be able to do a lot of things, physical things. So he said, let's do it and let's just, pray to God that she's okay. So then I think that's why, even though I woke up, I still don't remember, because I wasn't, very well in my mind. And it was only about like 5 days later that and I remembered my mom first. I said, Ma, and I didn't really remember my dad. And then like a few days later, I like started touching his face and I said, Pa, and things like that. Like you said, things that like you do as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 months later, I'm back to Alejandra La Phoenix Ayala. It's incredible, but it's beautiful being able to do it all, and having your family and your boyfriend and your friends just praying for you. It's beautiful.
Yeah, like I know obviously from experiences with Mexicans before, the luck has not been good. Like Jeanette Zacharias wasn't so lucky. She unfortunately never woke up. Another girl that's not mentioned because she didn't fight in another country, but here in Mexico, a girl that I knew, and I actually was her last sparring partner, is Sarai Arenas. And she's another girl that walked down from the ring, went home, and like a day or two later went into hospital and didn't make it. So there are two people that didn't come out the other side. So obviously, you know, probably a lot of people maybe were not expecting that you were going to come out the other side of this. I'm going to just bring up, you know, one post that probably still makes me emotional, because like I don't believe in what you see on social media, but I had received some messages beforehand saying, hey, have you heard anything from an old coach of yours, Gerardo, said, have you heard anything? Some people are saying that Alejandra is dead. And he called me and it was 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, nah, she can't be. Who told you that? Are you sure? You know, this was going back and forth. And he said, you know, was in a WhatsApp group and the medic in Mexico City. So I was thinking, oh, maybe they, you know, like the commission in Glasgow maybe contacted Mexico before. And I was like, oh, hopefully it's not true. Hopefully it's not true. So on May the 16th, which is 3 days after your fight, literally I have a screenshot of it, so I translated it at 10:50 p.m. Mexico time. Revista con los Guantes published it was in Spanish, but in English, basically what it said was, another fighter gone to heaven. Mexican boxing is in mourning. Alejandra Phoenix Ayala was left in a serious condition and an induced coma after hard impacts that she received, losing by KO this past weekend in Scotland against the local Hannah Rankin. The news saddens our hearts because after being in a critical state, the Mexican didn't improve and finished losing her life. So this, I was, after receiving messages in there beforehand, I was like, it's official. Like she's like, I remember I was texting my boyfriend, I was like, I can't believe it, because I know you hear about, you know, fighters going not prepared, but I have shared the ring with you just for 2 rounds, and I was like, she's stronger than me, she's better than me, you know, and I was about to make my debut and I was like, oh my God, what is this? What is going on? And I literally was crying, and then I was fighting with people online for all of the stuff they were spreading. And then I said, I deleted Facebook for a week because I wasn't going to do my debut if I didn't, because I was like mentally, but then a few hours later, I texted everyone. I had texted everyone before this, even Hannah Rankin, and then people were saying, oh, this is not official, this is not official. But somebody obviously has, who was the person that shared this with you, or when did you find out that you had been basically announced as dead?
Well, my family and my boyfriend were the only ones that I was talking to when I woke up, and they didn't tell me, probably because they realized I couldn't even really know what was going on and things like that. Like I thought I was in Mexico. I didn't know I was in a hospital. I was very confused when I woke up. So, and also I couldn't really talk. So I would just, you know, look at them, they would look at me, or we would, you know, talk about other things that didn't have to do with it. So I didn't know. It wasn't until I was approved by the doctor that I could leave and I could go to Mexico. I could come to Mexico. When I started hearing things from my family, from it, mostly, I actually never have seen it or have heard it completely what it said, but basically they were like, oh, I'm so pissed because, you know, they said this, how could they, this and that. And I was like, really? Well, I don't know, you know, I don't feel, that's one of the beautiful things that happened to me. And like I said, I don't know if it's because I went, you know, to sleep very calm and very happy, but when I woke up, I was very happy. And, you know, when they told me these things, I was like, well, you know, I understand. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes they need to sell it. Sometimes, you know, whatever. I don't feel negative because I'm alive. I don't feel angry because I have so many people that love me. And I realize that, you know, not just my family, my friends, my boyfriend, I have a new dog, my dog, he's always next to me, things like that, that make those are the things that make me happy. And if somebody else is unhappy, or if somebody else is trying to get money or do whatever, then it is what it is. The people that care about me know what's going on, so that's the important part.
I honestly like believe truly, like, since your actual attitude that you've always had from, I mean, before the fight and everything, in the few months that I know you, you're a very uplifting character. You've got a real like a positive attitude and a really good energy, and I feel like that's what, that's why you're still alive, because like you said yourself, even the doctors kind of said to your parents, maybe, we don't know like what's going to happen, but we're going to try do this surgery.
Yeah, that's another thing that, I mean, I feel, as I said, it's not weird, but it is a little bit. And I was like, right now that I'm getting better and that I'm learning a lot more of what happened, a little anger at my parents and my boyfriend. I'm like, stop saying things, or why are you doing this, or let me, I couldn't even make my own breakfast because, no, you can, what if you get burned? What if, I'm like, oh my God, I'm 33, leave me alone. But now I realize, like, they went through so many difficult things that I didn't go through because I was sleeping.
Yeah.
That now I'm like, okay, I get it. They're still hurt. They're still angry. They lived through a lot of things. Some of the greatest doctors told them, be with her. They actually let them be with me in when I was in a coma, even though they technically couldn't be, because they said she might not make it today, or after tomorrow. She might not make it. So I mean, I don't have kids, but I can see, I am a child and I love my parents. If something happened to them, or my brothers or my sisters, like, I would be hurt as well. So I get it. And I'm just trying to go through with it. But I am very happy to be alive.
Yeah, it's all of the odds were pretty much saying that you weren't going to make it, and you were a real life phoenix. You were like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm coming back. On the 10th of June, I have a message on my phone. I was in school working, I'm a teacher. I was on break at 8:50 a.m. and I had been texting you all the way up until the day before the fight. And this was the first message that I got since the fight. It was a little bit confusing, which just goes to show how much you've improved even since the 10th of June. But like, it just gives me goosebumps even just seeing it. I was like, oh my, like, because nobody knows who you are in my school, but I was just like, I need to share this with somebody. It was, and what you had said was like, I'm so happy, soon I'll be able to go home, something like that you said. But like, it just goes to show how much progress you've made in, like, probably felt like a long time at times when you were stuck in Glasgow and you wanted to go home, but in reality, what 3 surgeries, like, for people that don't already know, like, they had to take part of your skull out so that for the inflammation, and then they put it back in. Like, to be looking like you are, to be doing a video call, to be not even a video call, since you've come back to Tijuana, you're like all over the place. you're out seeing people all of the time. But let's just go fast forward, because anyone that there's so many interviews of you talking about this as well. But can you tell us right now, what are you doing therapy wise? What does like the next few months look like for you? What do you need to work on to improve your state?
That was something funny, because I came back to Tijuana, and one of the things that I have that I'm getting better at is before even when I started doing the interviews, I told them, you know what, it has to be less than half an hour, maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes, because I would be able to talk, but then my head would start pulsing, and then I wouldn't be able to talk or say the things, or I would say things and I thought I had said them correctly, and then they would, people will be confused because I actually didn't say the things correctly. Things like that. So when I got back, even though I wanted to see a lot of people, I wasn't able to. And I saw my doctor, and basically I saw my doctor, the man who gave me all the protein, everything for my fights, and now he's come back and he's helping me doing it, coming back now in a different state. But I mean, well, you can see I'm doing great because of that. He's an amazing man. My doctor and my trainer, who I call my godfather, because he's done so many things ever since I came here to Tijuana. So those were the only 3 people that I saw. They came. I am able to eat everything. The doctor said, eat everything. You got this, girl. And I'm not a boxer anymore, so I'm eating everything. So we had a little cookout. They were here only maybe like an hour. Then I started getting tired and I went to sleep. And after that, oh my gosh, I've been doing so many trainings. I tell my mom, I'm like, this is incredible that I don't work because I can't work. The doctor told me I can't for at least 6 months. And then after a year, like I can't, I have my gym, and I can't train them like literally. And I have gone to the gym, but I'm basically there only a couple hours because it does get tiring. But basically I do a lot of physical therapy, and I do a lot of every day. I do twice a day for only 20 minutes, different things for me to be able to read, to write, to talk. And this is everything that I've learned from Glasgow, in the US, in Glasgow. And now I'm coming back here in Mexico, and it's not so common for there to be not a teacher, but a doctor or somebody who's able to do these things in Spanish, because I realized that I've gotten a lot better in English, probably because when I woke up, that's what I was doing. And when I came here, I had gotten some things that I could do here, like on the computer, or they gave me some papers, and I'm basically almost done. And I'm going to do it in here in Mexico, but I have to go to Mexico City. So that's right now what I'm doing the most. And I'm also doing things that I haven't been, I forget what it's called, but basically, washing the dishes, cleaning the house, things like that you don't know how to do. I've been doing that, and it's true, like it's incredible. But I'm like, things that I've eaten forever, I'm like, oh, what do you put in this? What do you do with this? What is this called? The food, for some reason, it hasn't gotten to me what it's called, and I'm like, I've been eating this, for so many years, and I've been living alone, so I've been doing it myself. But we're getting better. We're getting better. Actually, when I got my dog, he was a baby, and I've been wanting a dog. I've had a dog like my entire life. So I had told my boyfriend like a year before, and then we got a house together. And I was like, oh, now we can get it. And that was before the fight. And so when I came back, he got me the dog, and I was so happy. But it was so hard because I didn't know what a dog needed, So he would start crying, or he would start, peeing in my, room. And my parents helped me out. My boyfriend helped me out. So we're getting better.
Are your parents still in Tijuana with you, or?
Yes, they are, because even though I live with my boyfriend, he works, obviously, he's a policeman. So they didn't want me to be alone, if anything, because it was difficult for me, like simple things like moving up the stairs, coming down the stairs, carrying things like that. So because the doctor said after 6 months, I should be, at like over 50%. And then after a year, I'll be okay. So they said, okay, we're going to be with you 6 months. We know that your boyfriend's there and he's going to be taking care of you. But we want to make sure that you're 100% okay. So they're still here, and they're probably not going to leave until December.
they're never gonna want to leave you.
Never gonna want to leave.
You're never, your boyfriend needs to get used to your parents.
Yeah.
No, they're never going to want to let go of you again. But I remember before the flight, you were saying that your dad loves Tijuana, so maybe they're just going to move to Tijuana.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're looking at places to rent and places to buy, and I'm like, that's fine. You know, I'm happy
Oh,
that they're here. Before nobody really liked Tijuana other than me. They're like, oh, it's because
it has a bad
on
reputation.
TV or on
Yeah, it
everything, and
has
it's
a
like, oh, it's the worst, city
yeah.
in the world, and I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it has a bad reputation, but I went there to see it and I was there for a week. I really liked it, and I'm always saying it. I was like, I like Tijuana. It
Yeah,
doesn't. I think it has a worse name than what it's made out to, but it's quite modern and it's a nice place. The climate is, even though maybe now it's too hot, but when I was there, like the climate was lovely because it's just like a nice dry heat. It's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I'm
It's
not going
basically
to
just
delay too
August.
long because it's actually going to cut out the Zoom because I have the free version. But we've just a few more minutes. But I want to just your brother made a GoFundMe page
Yeah, he did.
to help to make sure that obviously like you have enough things to focus on. You need to focus on your therapy. You sent me photos one day you were doing homework for, I think it's like memory stuff. Because like you look fantastic, you sound fantastic, but you want to be 100% like you deserve to be, and you don't want to be worrying about the financial side of things. So I think some people have already donated. I think we'll keep sharing it. But and you're also selling some of your fight gear as you posted today to try and to help with the financial costs. So for those that don't already know, if you haven't seen our previous interviews, Alejandra just before this fight at the start of the year bought her own boxing gym. Everything kind of happened together. And now obviously you have to employ someone to work that boxing gym. You can't work it yourself. And you have to go to the Mexico City and get more medical tests. I'm looking forward to that because I'll get to see you. But yeah, maybe just to give a quick final bit of information about what you need money for in the next like 12 months. As you said, the doctor said maybe 12 months until you're back to being 100%.
Yeah, well, basically it's that he told me I can't work, and obviously getting better. Like I said, I don't really like putting negative things on my social media or letting people know, other than my parents who are like watching me and they know what's going on. But I'm obviously not at 100%. I'm very happy to be alive. I can, do a lot of things now, but it's taken me a lot of hard work. I feel like I'm, back to trying to go for a really tough fight, and I'm doing everything, 100% every single day, whether I'm reading, whether I'm writing, whether I'm walking, whether I'm doing physical things, looking at things that I can do, I'm sleeping a lot. And I'm just going from place to place depending on what I need to do. And yeah, unfortunately, I can't uh,
Work.
work. I can't work. And I realized that also I don't know a lot of the boxing things. I know how to hit, but I forget what it's called, so I can't really help them yet.
No.
um, and I do have to. I was thinking like maybe I'll give up on my boxing gym, but everybody's been really helpful. And they're like, no, don't do that. The guy who was helping me out stayed there the 2 months, and he's just a boxer. He's not a trainer, but actually the idea was me coming back and training him for him to fight. And he was like, no matter what happens, I'm gonna be here. So he's been amazing. But yeah, I have to pay them. I have to pay my house. I had just bought my house. I have to pay my house. I have to pay my medicines, my right now that I have to go to Mexico, I have to pay that. I have to pay a lot of things, and I'm very grateful just to be alive. And I'm very grateful that I'm able, that everybody's been helping me out, and I can do things little by little. I don't need you know, all the money right now, but I do need, for example, right now, at the end of the month that I have to go to Mexico, it's, you know, $2,000. So I have to collect it and things like that. And whoever can help me out, I'm obviously not asking for a lot of money because I know everybody's different. You know, sometimes I've had a lot of money and sometimes I have no money. So I understand, you know, everybody's in a different place, but if they could help me out, I greatly appreciate it. For the GoFundMe, I said, you know what, maybe I should sell my shorts. Maybe somebody likes them. Maybe somebody could use them or hang them up or something. So if you want to check my Facebook or my Instagram, I've shown, I literally have shorts and things that I had since I was an amateur boxer, and I boxed for the Mexico, and I got, you know, it was my first fight, and I got third place, and nobody believed it. So that was after when I was like, I'm gonna become professional. So I have that, and I have a lot of things that mean a lot to me. But now that I'm alive and everything, I'm just like, you know what? Maybe somebody else could live through it. So, you know, who knows?
This is going to cut out in 1 minute, so I'm just before it does cut out, because it's the Zoom has a 50-minute limit. I'm going to post on YouTube when I post this video all of the links for your Instagram where they can look at your shorts, the GoFundMe for donations. And if you have any questions, you can comment in the YouTube video or send a message directly to Alejandra's Instagram page, which I will share all of the links, and we're always sharing on the Round for Round Instagram and on my Instagram as well. So thank you so much. It's so good to see you. You look amazing.
So much. I'll see you soon.
You are amazing. Like you're I need a picture of you on the wall of you're an absolute living miracle. You're amazing.
Thank you. God bless everybody, and God bless you, and I'll see you soon.
Talk to you soon.